Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'd like to show you how I made this double pouch treat holder. There's one little pouch at the front here which is holding a bar of chocolate. There's another little pouch at the back here which is holding a card that you can write a message on or a greeting of some sort. I've used Lemon Lime Twist for this one. It's one of our 5 new in colours, and the paper that I've used is the Fresh Florals Designer Series paper stack, which comes in all of the 5 new in colours. On this one, this little design here, which is what I'm going to be using on the next one, is from a brought forward stamp set called Bloomin' Loved. I've also made one in Fresh Fig, again using Fresh Florals Design Series paper stack, but the flower there that I've used is from a new set called Flirty Flowers, and I've used that stamp there. What happened was I stamped it onto the Whisper White cardstock, and when I punched it out with an 1¼ inch circle punch, it just took these 4 flowers, so that fitted really beautifully. And the other thing about this one is I put the little tassel on, which came with the Eastern Palace suite. Don't have one in the Lemon Lime Twist, so that didn't get one. And there's not one in Powder Pink either. So the card pieces you're going to need are a piece of the DSP, the Designer Series paper, which measures 8 inches by 8 inches, which is 20.3 by 20.3 centimetres. A piece of powder pink cardstock, which measures 5½ inches by 2 inches, which is 14.5 by 5 centimetres. A piece of Whisper White cardstock, which measures 4 inches by 2 inches, which is 10 centimetres by 5 centimetres. And a piece of powder pink cardstock, which measures 2¾ inches by 3 5/8 inches, which is 7 by 9.5 centimetres, and a piece of Whisper White, which measures 2 5/8 inches by 3½ inches, which is 6.7 by 9.2 centimetres. So what we're going to do first, if I just move these out of the way, we're going to score on here. I don't normally like making boxes and things like that with Designer Series paper, but this one is all folds. I have tried it with a specialty Designer Series paper, which is thicker than this but not quite as thick as our cardstock, and I don't think it turned out quite as nicely as these do, which is why I'm using Designer Series paper this time. So first of all, what you need to do is you need to fold this diagonally in half, and what I do for that is I score. On my scoreboard you can see I've got a red line here and it goes all the way down the bottom. So what I can do with a job like this, I can put my cardstock in, make my point go up there, and then I can make sure my point follows down on that red line. So it comes down like that, and I know that if I score that, that's going in a perfect straight line. I don't like just folding paper or cardstock in half if I can avoid it. Now, because this is Designer Series paper, again, don't score it very hard because you can go straight the way through. Not a good idea. And also, when you're using your scoring tool, you've got one fat end and one thin end, and when you're doing Designer Series paper, it's a good idea to use the fat end. Okay, so just enough for you to be able to use that as a guide to fold your paper in half. Now, while I just fold this, I'm going to move that out of the way. I'll bring it back in a jiffy. So what I do is fold that over to meet that corner, and then fold this down. And as I say, I don't agree with using bone folders for design series paper, but on this it does need it, and I think if you just go gently it's fine. Don't put any real pressure on it. Okay, so now we've got that, what we're going to do is, again with our scoreboard, you're going to put the folded side against this edge here, and you're going to score at 7/8 of an inch, which is 2.2 centimeters. Now the thing is with this, you need your score to go through to the second page as well, so you need to apply a bit of pressure, but not too much. Now if you come down there, okay, I'm applying some pressure, but the score line on the other side is not going to be as good as this one, but you should be able to feel that as a little bump. Okay, and then you put your fold up against the top here, and you're going to score at 3 3/4 inches, which is 9.5 centimeters, and then you're going to score at 7 5/8 inches, which is 19.3 centimeters. Okay, that's all the scoring we need to do. There is no gluing and no cutting on this pouch, double pouch. So first of all, if you open up this way and then fold on this score line, obviously one of them is going to be a lot easier than the other. It looks like I've picked up the not so easy one first, but if you have a look at it from the side, from the back here, then you can see where it is going, and then you can gradually work it down, and then again very gently just go over with your bone folder, turn it around 180 degrees, and then fold over onto this one, which as you can see is my easy side, and then again very gently. Now if you turn it 90 degrees, doesn't matter which direction you go, then you need to fold it on that score line. Make sure that your fold here is lining up with that fold there. And then again a very gentle crease on there. And then again on the last one, making sure your score line lines up very gently. So what you need to do now is fold that over and that, and then you will see you have 3 score lines here, 1, 2, 3. So the first one is going to be a mountain, the second one is going to be a valley, and then the next one's going to be a mountain. Okay, so the side should look like that. Now I like to give this an extra little crease. Sometimes I find mine is just very, very slightly out. So I mean, you wouldn't, I don't think you'd even see where that has changed very slightly. Maybe you can see it, but just a gentle little press and it's fine. So there we go, that is our pouch. So easy. Now what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take a glue dot, and I'm just going to hold those top 2 points together. So I'm going to put a glue dot there. It's got to be quite high because I'm going to punch a hole here and I don't want to go through the glue dot. So line those up perfectly, and then I put that, so that's not going to go anywhere now. I'm going to use my 1/8 of an inch handheld hole punch. Make sure that this doesn't slide sideways, and then I'm going to punch a hole. I'm trying to make sure that it's level with that point there, coming straight down like that. There we go. Now I'm going to take some of our powder pink ribbon, which is called finely woven ribbon. Right, that's got a bit of glue on it, so let's cut that little bit off. And I take about 10 inches, I think. Okay, that is what 10 inches looks like. If you want to do shorter, obviously you can. I find that 10 inches is a nice length to be working with. Also, when I cut my ribbon, I always cut off the roll at an angle like that. So when I start using it again, it's already cut. If I had a straight line, then I would lose the bit as I'm trying to get the slant line again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this through the hole. If you have any little trinkets or anything that you want to add on, you can do that when we do the next bit, which is we're going to tie some white baker's twine around here. What I like to do first is wrap it round close to the bottom, but I make sure that when I tie this I don't crush the paper, the cardstock, the DSP that's underneath there. So first of all I do this one as low as I can. There we go. And then I tie another knot so it holds it tight. Or at least try to. There we go, that's nice. Nice and tight and probably as low as it can go. So now I want it tied in a bow, so I'm going to turn it around to the front. If you were putting a trinket on it, that would have been the time to do it when you got that bit. Right, so now I'm just going to, I'll tie this one in a double knot as well. And I know this isn't going anywhere. The bow might come undone, but that's about it. Now this you can have as long or as short as you like. I like it quite short, but not too short. There we go, that's fine for me. So I'll take the two tails and cut those off. There we go, that looks good. So for our decoration, for this one I'm only going to put the little flower down there. I'm using the powder pink ink. You've seen me use this stamp so many times. It is so useful for bits and pieces like this. There we go, that's that one. And then I also need this, don't I, for my two circles. In fact, it looks as if I've been over generous with this piece of paper. Mind you, I'd much rather tell you a piece too big than not big enough. But you certainly take an extra inch of it there. And the only other bit of stamping I need to do is this here, which is from another new stamp set called Label Me Pretty. And I'm using this one here. There's a matching punch that'll punch out all these shapes, which I'll show you in a jiffy. Excuse me a moment. Forgot to put that light on. I hope that hasn't spoilt what you can see. Done that one a bit close, so I'm going to tilt it. With this stamp, when you ink it up, stamp it in your ink pad, do be very, very careful, because it is so easy to get ink onto that bit there, and it comes through onto your work. This doesn't matter, because by the time I've punched that out in a circle, it'll go over the top and cover it up. But if I wanted to stamp that, for example, straight in there, then it would have mattered. But without ink pads, you don't need to press it hard. Right, so I've done those two. I think that's all the stamping I need to do. So first of all, I'm going to adhere this to the back. So that's one pouch sorted out. You can use fast fuse for that. I just tend to use Tombow for everything. There we go. So that's my card, my greeting card, or my card for writing a note on it. This I'm going to punch out with my 1 1/4 inch circle punch. As you can see, fits in there beautifully. Now for these two, I've already done the two that I'm going to be using, but I did decorate mine and just want to show you what I did to it. I took a white gel pen, just make sure it's working, that's it, and I did a little line of dots all around this scroll. Let me just bring you down closer so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so just little white dots. We're having a mini heat wave here at the moment. It's really, really lovely. But I don't know if you can hear the noise of a fan that I have on. We have ceiling fans. And of course I have to be very careful, because like my gel pen just now, it dried up in those few minutes that I was bringing the camera down close. This is all I do. It just adds a little bit more to the decoration there. Okay, as I say, I'm not going to do any more. I will show you the, I think this is called Pretty Label Punch, the one that punches this out, which is that. Okay, I will remember to lift you back up again before I continue. Let me just line that up and I will show you. Okay, like that. And then I can go on and do that one, but I'll do that later. Okay. Really pleased with that. I like that. Right, now I'm going to take you out. I think that's about right. Now, there's those two, and these are my two labels. So I'm going to use Tombow. it doesn't really matter, I don't think, which way round you have this flower. And then all I'm doing is I'm trying to get it centre between that line and that line down there. Do the same for this one. Right, so that's that. Just give that a flatten down. Now I'm going to put this onto my treat holder by using, I'm just going to say that's a top, aren't I? With dimensionals. I'm going to use the normal size. I'm going to put one on the bottom there, and I'm going to put one on either side here. That way I know when I put the label onto the pouch it's not going to be sticking anywhere that I don't want it to stick. Okay, so those two, and I want one on this side as well. Okay, so we do, this one's the back. So I just give that a little squeeze, make sure that's adhered down nicely. I can put my card in there. You could put your card round like that actually. I suppose it does look nicer like that, doesn't it? The flower actually blends in very well with that. Right, okay, I'll have to go to the other two and turn those around as well. Okay, so if you put the bottom one in position first, and then those two will follow suit. There we go. And I have another bar of chocolate here, which I have to say is amazingly squidgy. But that's okay, it's fine. There we go. So there we go, that's today's project. So nice and easy. If you wanted to do little treats or things, if you've got a children's party, so very, very easy to do. I hope you like it and I hope you give it a try. Many thanks for joining me today. If you have any questions or would like to make any comments, please leave them in the box below the video or email me at janb@janbcards.com. I'm always very happy to help you. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here today, apart from the chocolate of course, there'll be a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop in the box below. If you've enjoyed my video and you'd like to be notified each time I upload a new one, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button. And finally, I'll be putting the measurements of everything, the score lines and the products that I've used. They will all be in the box below the video. I will put them on my blog as well, but if you don't need to go over there for anything, you don't want to go over there for anything, it will all be here for you, nice and easy. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.